I've just deburred the part up a little bit. I just took the edge off. I didn't quite get that. That's all right. We're going to have that hanging out. Now what I'm going to use is the back side. So since this is 10 millimeters and then drifts up, I'm going to cut enough of this away, just roughing it in, that I can thread a bolt in, and then I'll turn the head of a bolt on the lathe so it's somewhat concentric to the threads. It doesn't have to be perfect. So let's just throw that guy in there. That's too low. Let's use some taller ones. Okay, how about you? Oh yeah, I like that. My vise is getting a little bit stiff. It's time for a rebuild. Okay, we don't want to put get rid of any chips because we don't want to put any marks in the part, because if there are chips in there, it'll mush into it. Let's pull up that big... Oh no, that's not tool 7, it's tool 8. Okay, and we're just going to drive this over. You know what we ought to do is probably take all that material off while we're here. It's not a bad idea. So I want to make sure we're good and tight. Kind of hanging out there a ways. Let's readjust this. I think I'm going to go put a little bit less parallel that's 1 3/8. Where's 1 1/4? Oh, there you are. Okay. Let's put that there, and we're going to run that all the way up. Okay, and we only have this little bit of parallel surface, so there's not a lot. Not that it's really important on this particular operation, but let's do it about right there. And we'll crank this down just a little bit so we don't scratch the part. Let's go back. We don't want to pull it out, so I'm just going to take maybe all the way down and okay. This is an old school, I don't even remember what these are called. It's kind of a corncob style cutter. There was a time when these were the cat's meow. They're very outdated and nobody uses them anymore, but once again, it's one that I have, and so I use up everything I've got because it doesn't make any sense to buy new tooling if you don't have to. Tooling is pretty expensive for this gig. Ooh-wee. Let's try not to pop that into our eyeballs. Of course, we're wearing safety glasses, of course. Okay, and then here I'm just going to take this down a little bit till that threaded hole opens up. So we can get to it. Oh, that'll work. Okay. We have a cut down bolt. We need to make sure that this height is 390. So we measure down here. We come up with 250. I want a little bit more than that because we're going to be kind of hanging the one side out the end, and that's not... How about you? Oh, I like you. I like you. Let's get rid of that. And we can get our tool 1 coming up. Okay. Don't put your hands in the machine while it's running. So, I'm all about do as I say, not as I do. I'm a little bit scared I've cut too much off of here. So we might have a little bit of a problem. We're going to find out in just a minute. Okay, why can't we get a feel for that? Alright, are we down too far? Woo, that's not gonna work. Hang on. Hang on, hang on. We want to go that tall. How about you? You're the same. Oh, how about you? Okay. Let's try this bad boy. Okay, that'll work. That'll only give us 20 thou, but that's enough. That's enough for how we roll around here. Okay, take the edge finder out. We're going to put a little coax indicator in. Now, what I want to do first is kind of check to make sure our bolt is even. Now this isn't exact, the head of the bolt, I turned this in the lathe, so it's within a few thousandths. It's not insanely accurate, but it's go down a little bit. So we got a little surface area, not wobbling around and getting weird readings. Okay, so if we indicate to right there, hold on. Okay, so this little indicator, it's called a coax indicator, so you can kind of run it like this. Usually you have a stop on it, but we're not going to put the stop on. We're just going to do this quick and easy. And you can kind of adjust it. And you watch the dial get bigger or smaller depending on how you move. See, as it gets smaller and smaller. Okay, that's about enough there. And then move it in the X. That gets bigger, get bigger, and then smaller. That's about it for that. Goes bigger there. Goes bigger there. Okay, until we just smooth it right down to about there. So there's a little nick in the bolt head, but we're within about 1/1000th, which is plenty close for what we're doing here. So let's go X0 and Y0. because that's where we've programmed from. Pull this out and pull this guy out. And we need to pull up our tool 3 because that's our ball end mill. And let's just set it right off of here for now and see how this runs, and then we'll bump it down. Okay, I think we're good, and then I think that was program 107, right? Oh, it's not 107 because it's not there. Let's find out what program we're running. Okay, let's see what kind of damage we can do here. I'm going to go a little bit slow. Find out where we are. Looks like we're still quite a bit high, but we have all this material that I don't want to try and mow off in one pass. So we'll do. Uh-oh. That was not what we wanted. I'm going to go ahead and run it through anyway. But if you noticed, it pushed it down, which is okay. We're just going to get rid of this material. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this pin inside that'll take up the slack of that slot we have. Give us a little bit of rigidity. And let's put that guy in there. Like so. Okay. And then we put our coax indicator in. Now what I want to do is kind of check to see if our bolt head, let's run that all the way down. So we've got enough surface area on that, so it's at least as accurate as it needs to be. Move this to the center. That's within a couple of tenths. I think that's a couple of tenths is way closer than we need to be anyway. So let's turn that on. And 3S of 50. Okay. Okay, this indicator, we just move this around until it centers itself. It's called a coax indicator. So as it gets small, as that dial gets smaller, we know we're going in that. Okay, then it goes bigger, so we'll go back and go to the y-axis. That's going bigger, so we'll go the other way till it gets smaller. Smaller, now it's getting bigger. Let's go back and go to the X again. Almost there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a that's about 7/10, just close enough. Close enough for this job. So let's go Y0 and X0. Okay, and then we'll lift you out and pull you off. Alrighty, let's see what we can do here. Looks like our Z is still quite a bit high, which is okay. We could have written another program and roughed all that out first, but we didn't. You know, sometimes brevity is the better part of valor or something. Am I mixing my metaphors again? Okay, that looks good. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're on the finish pass. It's just taking 5/1000ths off. Crank that up to 120%. I think it looks pretty good. Seems to match up pretty well. Looks like it cleaned up most of the way. Looks like that end mill's fairly dull. It's starting to push quite a burr over. Just have to clean it up later. Move that out of the way since we're not running coolant.